When she doesn't want to answer a question, her habit is to kind of go to word salad city. And she did that on a couple of answers. One was on Israel. Anderson asked a direct question, would you be stronger on Israel than Trump? And there was a 7-minute answer, but none of it related to the question he was asking.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Kamala Harris's performance during her CNN town hall last night, which was Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024. This was an unmitigated disaster. It was really, really, really bad, and I'm not exaggerating. If the objective was to gain undecided voters, just 10 days before the election, if that was the objective, I don't think this accomplished it. This was not her typical environment. Normally, there's teleprompters and there's curated questions and answers and people to call on and friendly softball journalists. This was real people in a real setting asking her real questions, and she did not do well at all. She did awfully. It was bad. It was real bad. And before I go any further, let's go ahead and get into the clips. Of course, I will link to everything in the box. If you want to see it and hear it without my commentary, if you're on IG, Facebook, visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Considering you have been in the position of vice president for the past 4 years under the Biden administration, how can we expect you to deviate from the direction of that administration compared to your own? How can we differentiate your policy and your beliefs from that of Biden's?
So the question, how will you be different from the Biden administration? All right, if we've had 4 years of this guy and you want to be part of that administration and get elected, why? What's going to be different?
That's a great question, and thank you. Well, first of all, my administration will not be a continuation of the Biden administration.
There goes that train talking point right there. That's probably why she took off the other day to prepare for this. So she would hear certain questions and give a pre-planned answer.
Bring to this role my own ideas and my own experience. I represent a new generation of leadership on a number of issues and believe that we have to actually take new approaches. For example, what we talked about in terms of housing. My experience that leads to that priority includes what I did to take on the big banks around the foreclosure crisis when I brought billions of dollars to homeowners that were the subject of predatory lending. I know what homeownership means to the American people, not to mention what it meant to my mother, who worked very hard and saved up so that by the time I was a teenager, she was able to buy our first home. I bring to it my experience actually taking care of my mother when she was sick. And
what in the world has that got to do with what you're going to do differently under your administration versus Joe Biden? Your mom being sick? What's that got to do with anything?
It was, as it turned out, dying from cancer. And so I know what it means and have the experience of taking care of an elderly relative, and I have raised children. And so I bring to my priorities and will, as president, a new approach and a new idea, frankly, about what we need to do to deal with the sandwich generation.
Whoa, boy, oh boy, that was rough. Oh my goodness, Kamala, this ain't gonna work, Kamala. Let's keep on going.
Some voters, though, might ask, you've been in the White House for 4 years, you were vice president, not the president, but why wasn't any of that done for the last 4 years?
Making all these promises about what you're going to do if you become president, but you've been the vice president for 4 years. Why haven't you done these things while in office?
Well, there was a lot that was done, but there's more to do, Anderson. And I'm pointing out things that need to be done, that haven't been done, but need to be done.
I'm pointing out things that haven't been done that need to be done, but should be done. Okie dokie. The word salad is crazy.
2022, 2023, there were record border crossings. Your administration took hundreds of executive actions. It didn't stem the flow. Numbers kept going up. Finally, in 2024, just in June, 3 weeks before the first presidential debate with Joe Biden, you institute executive actions that had a dramatic impact, really shut down people crossing over. Why didn't your administration do that in 2022, 2023?
First of all, you're exactly right, Anderson. And as of today, we have cut the flow of immigration by over half. In fact, the numbers I saw most recently, illegal immigration
But if
is
it was
low.
that easy with that executive action, why not do it in 2022, 2023?
Because we were working with Congress and hoping that actually we could have a long-term fix to the problem instead of a short-term fix.
You couldn't have done one and both at the same time?
Well, here's the thing. We have to understand that ultimately this problem is going to be fixed through congressional action.
Okay, so here he's talking about the immigration issue, the migrant crisis. You're passing certain things this year, right before the election, to slow down the flow of the migrants. Why didn't you do that early? That question wasn't answered. Oh, what'd she say? We were trying to get basically mass amnesty. So we just let it open and didn't do anything to close it. Are you not trying to pass mass amnesty now? And if you are, then why did you pass an executive order to reduce the flow when you could have done that before while at the same time trying to get mass amnesty? Same thing Anderson Cooper said. Why not do both at the same time? Why one versus the other? You see what I'm saying? It's BS. They want the border to be wide open, and they closed it before the election a little bit because it looks better for them when you're talking about trying to get swing voters. That's all. Let's keep on going.
Do you believe Donald Trump is anti-Semitic?
I believe Donald Trump is a danger to the well-being and security of America.
Another non-answer. She didn't answer really any questions at all throughout the entire town hall. And you guys, if you saw it in full, let me know. How many questions did she answer? Or give me a percentage. Okay. What, 10%, 20%? At best. At best. Most of it was just like this. She will hear something and then repeat it back differently to address a point that could be related to it, but it's not an answer to the question. That's what she does. And it's very frustrating for the American people to have leaders not answer direct questions.
Under Donald Trump, you criticized the wall more than 50 times. You called it stupid, useless, and a medieval vanity project.
Look at his face. Hold on. Look at his face. I don't want to see that in the White House.
Project. Is a border wall stupid?
Well, let's talk about Donald Trump and that border wall. So remember, Donald Trump said Mexico would pay for it? Come on, they didn't. How much of that wall did he build? I think the last number I saw was about 2%. And then when it came time for him to do a photo op, you know where he did it? In the part of the wall that President Obama built.
But you're agreeing to a bill that would earmark $650 million to continue building that wall.
I pledge that I am going to bring forward that bipartisan bill to further strengthen and secure our border. Yes, I am. And I'm going to work across the aisle to pass a comprehensive bill that deals with a broken immigration system. I think Jackson's question, part of it was to acknowledge that America has always had migration, but there needs to be a legal process for it.
Yeah, it's called legal immigration, Kamala. It's called legal immigration. You know about that. Your parents, right? Jamaican dad and Indian mom. It's called legal immigration. That's what it's called.
People have to earn it. And that's the point that I think is the most important point that can be made, which is we need a president who is grounded in common sense and practical outcomes. Like, let's just fix this thing. Let's just fix it. Why is there any ideological perspective on this? Let's just fix the problem.
To fix the problem, you're doing this compromise bill. It does call for $650 million that was earmarked under Trump to actually still go to build the wall.
I am not afraid of good ideas where they occur.
So you don't think it's stupid anymore?
I think what he did and how he did it did not make much sense because he actually didn't do much of anything.
But see, you're not getting to the question. The question is, you said the border wall was stupid, a vanity project, all this, that, and the third. But the bill you support has $650 million for the wall, and you support that bill. So do you support that part of the bill? Do you support building the wall? Do you still think the wall is a stupid vanity project? You're not answering any of the questions. You sound like somebody that watches MS-13 DNC and how they joke about the wall and try to poke fun at it and things of this nature, but you're not answering the question that's in front of you. And if you want to be a leader, I'm going to need you to answer that question.
I just talked about that wall, right? We just talked about it. He didn't actually do much of anything.
But you do want to build some wall.
I want to strengthen our border.
Oh, my goodness. Like, just answer the question. Goodness gracious. Man, for you Kamala voters out there, I don't know how you do it.
Is there something you can point to in your life, political life or in your life in the last 4 years, that you think is a mistake that you have learned from?
This was probably the biggest word salad that I heard throughout the entire thing. Or if not, it's in the top 3.
I mean, I've made many mistakes. And they range from, you know, if you've ever parented a child, you know you make lots of mistakes too. In my role as vice president, I mean, I've probably worked very hard at making sure that I am well versed on issues, and I think that is very important. It's a mistake not to be well versed on an issue and feel compelled to answer a question.
She's just making stuff up because she was just starting to talk and then tried to find a way to make it relate to the question rather than answering it directly, rather than having an answer. There was no answer. She just was responding to what he said rather than answering. This is a problem.
Would you be in favor of expanding the court to say 12, so each justice has only one circuit court other than Chief Justice to assist in making judgments more balanced?
Well, to your point, there is no question that the American people increasingly are losing confidence in the Supreme Court. And in large part because of the behavior of certain members of that court and because of certain rulings, including the Dobbs decision and taking away a precedent that had been in place for 50 years, protecting a woman's right to make decisions about her own body. So I do believe that there should be some kind of reform of the court, and we can study what that actually looks like.
Would you be?
So, man, okay, I think I've had enough. I'm going to link to all of this, like I said, in the box so you can see it in full. If you want to torture yourself and watch that in full, feel free to do it. I'll link to it in the description box or link in the bio somewhere. Go to the website, anthonyblogan.com. You'll be able to find it. But this was so bad. She doesn't answer questions. And listen, you're going to a town hall. The purpose of the town hall is to answer questions from the audience, from Anderson Cooper, from whoever it is. And all you're doing is responding in a certain way to maybe some kind of way address the question a little bit without answering. It's really, and when you do respond, it's word salad. You're all over the place talking about unrelated things, using words that don't even make sense to put in there to fluff up the answer. Like I said before, it's like when someone does their research paper the night before it's due, and they're just throwing whatever they can in there, throwing the kitchen sink of words and phrases to bulk up the word count. Okay, I need 1,000 words. I'm 200 words short. That's what Kamala Harris does. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to Kamala for tanking. I mean, really, I don't know what else I could say. This is tanking. This is like when you are in the NFL, NBA, and you want to get the first round draft pick, and you just lose on purpose. I don't see any other reason she would do this other than that. Or here's the main thing as I close and all that good stuff. Maybe she's just incompetent and this is the best that she can do. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Did you watch the Kamala CNN town hall? What did you think? Was it a dumpster fire? Did she do very well? Were you pleased with her answers? Were you not so pleased with her answers or lack thereof? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I mean, this was so bad, but typical Kamala, not surprising at all. This is what she does. She'll be asked a direct question and she just won't answer it. She'll respond to you. She'll give you some words. She'll throw a few vocabulary words at you. She'll throw a few catchphrases at you, but it won't really be an answer. And if you go into a town hall and you're not answering questions, you're defeating the purpose of the event. So, as I said from the jump, this was an unmitigated disaster. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.